Imagine a pharmaceutical sponsor with a flawless record of reporting individual adverse events. Every data point is logged on time, yet they suddenly face severe regulatory penalties and a threat to their market registration. The cause of this failure is a specific blind spot in post-market surveillance, the significant safety issue, or SSI. An SSI represents a population-level safety concern that materially alters a product's benefit-risk balance. We're going to deconstruct the Therapeutic Goods Administration's triaging framework, map the mandatory 72-hour reporting decision tree, and expose the communication gap known as Day Zero. Achieving compliance in routine reporting provides a false sense of security if a sponsor lacks the infrastructure to detect these higher-order systemic signals. A routine individual case safety report, or ICSR, is designed to log what happened to one specific patient at one specific time. This contrasts a single data point with an SSI, which assesses what the data means for the entire population. The network shifts into a scale, an aggregate alteration, where the risk side suddenly outweighs the benefits. Because of this population-level threat, an SSI bypasses standard routine data logging. It requires proactive, direct, and urgent communication with the TGA. An SSI elevates a safety concern from a localized medical anomaly to an urgent regulatory crisis, requiring immediate intervention to protect public health. To prevent critical safety data from being misrouted, sponsors must implement a strict internal triaging matrix. The left column shows routine ICSR constraints. Serious unexpected adverse events are reported within 15 days, non-serious within 90. Contrast this with the right. The TGA expects a maximum 72-hour turnaround for an SSI, starting from the exact moment of awareness. Many sponsors fall into the waiting for confirmation trap. The TGA requires preliminary initial notifications within this 72-hour window, even if comprehensive data synthesis is not yet complete. Holding back an SSI report to wait for a routine aggregate data cycle, like a periodic safety update report, is a direct compliance violation. Confusing an aggregate safety signal with a standard batch of individual ICSRs guarantees a breach of the 72-hour regulatory window. Not all SSIs originate from a sponsor's internal data. Many are triggered by the actions of comparable overseas regulators, known as CORs. If the European Medicines Agency mandates a market withdrawal or boxed warning, the sponsor must immediately notify the TGA for corresponding Australian products. The same applies to the FDA. A major use restriction or safety-related label modification issued in the United States carries the exact same weight as an EMA action. Major post-market signals on widely distributed products, such as novel vaccines, can rapidly escalate into international SSIs that require immediate TGA engagement. If a product is registered on the Australian Register of Therapeutic Goods, foreign regulatory actions regarding its safety are practically always relevant and reportable. An Australian affiliate cannot operate in a silo. The regulatory actions of major global agencies act as immediate tripwires for local TGA compliance. In 2023, the TGA updated its decision flowchart to prevent the 72-hour reporting channel from being overwhelmed. An incoming safety signal moves to the first node. Is it a major core action? If yes, the path routes directly to the red 72-hour SSI bucket. If it is not a major core action, the signal moves down the no path. The sponsor must evaluate if it poses a major impact to the overall benefit-risk balance. If yes, it also routes to the 72-hour SSI bucket. Following the no path again leads to the final node, confirmed but non-urgent. These signals route to a yellow 30-day OSI bucket, standing for other safety issue. This tier captures issues requiring regulatory action, like minor label updates, but lacking acute public health urgency. The 30-day window for an OSI allows time for thorough assessment, protecting the 72-hour SSI window strictly for the prioritization of critical public health risks. Accurately applying this triage algorithm separates the background noise of standard pharmacovigilance from true systemic emergencies. Multinational pharmaceutical companies share a common vulnerability that routinely leads to severe compliance penalties: the global-to-local communication gap. This timeline illustrates how the TGA defines Day Zero. It is the absolute starting point of the 72-hour clock. and it begins the exact moment anyone in the sponsor's global organization identifies the issue. Global safety teams often fall into the not our problem pitfall, delaying communication of overseas regulatory actions to local affiliates. As the clock ticks, this creates a vast communication dead zone stretching from day 1 to day 3. When the clock hits 72 hours, the compliance window slams shut. If the Australian affiliate is notified on day 4, they are already entirely outside the mandatory reporting period. A breach of this timeline carries steep regulatory consequences, including infringement notices, severe civil penalties, and the potential suspension of the product's ARTG registration. In the eyes of the TGA, global awareness equals local awareness. Internal communication lag is treated as a direct failure to protect Australian patients. Submitting the initial SSI notification to the Pharmacovigilance and Special Access Branch is only the beginning of a larger, structured regulatory response. This diagram maps how an SSI triggers immediate real-world downstream actions. The central notification sends cascading connections outward, mandating revisions to product information, consumer medicine information, and potential product recalls. Looking closely at the Risk Management Plan node, we see it split into dual branches. The sponsor must update both the core global strategy and the Australian-specific annex to reflect new risk minimization measures. During this phase, the TGA may issue public safety advisories or engage international networks like ICMRA for a coordinated global response. The SSI report functions as the mandatory trigger for forcing a therapeutic good to adapt its safety profile to incoming real-world data. To meet these requirements, sponsors must establish robust internal standard operating procedures and deploy automated regulatory intelligence systems to monitor international actions in real time. They must also maintain ironclad global-local alignment, ensuring internal communication lag never exceeds the absolute 3-day maximum limit. Furthermore, all internal triaging decisions, especially the decision not to classify a signal as an SSI, must be exhaustively documented to ensure complete TGA audit visibility. The entire pharmacovigilance framework exists because clinical trials simply cannot predict every variable of human biology once a drug enters the broader population. Reporting a significant safety issue creates the specific administrative visibility required to stop a systemic data anomaly from becoming a preventable public health crisis.